wrote a book entitled Who Fought the Law? The Historic Relevance of Black Politics. I'm going to wait a little bit for the time to catch up. And we're very pleased to speak with him about the recent meteoric rise of the African American in modern politics. Welcome, Doctor. I remember I first met you, 12 years ago? How much time, Tom?
Thank you.
Let's just get right into this, if you don't mind.
Yes, that's right, Tony. 12 years.
Yes.
It is. It really is.
Indeed. Can I have you raise your eyebrow? Professor, there's been a lot of talk of change, but what does that mean from the historical, sociological perspective?
That would be fine.
Oh. Cut. Change is different for all sorts of people. Doctor, how does one measure societal change? And how does it relate to the current political scene? How much time, Tom?
Oh, historically speaking, I think that we are in a period of systemic change that can be appropriately compared to that of the legislative and cultural changes witnessed during the civil rights era.
That we can't never really take back. So many of us died. So many. Indeed. At this time, I'd like to go to the phones and give our viewing audience the chance to speak with Tony Hills.
Yes, they did, Tony. You are 100% right there.
Charles in Norfolk. Great. That actually worked out much better than I thought it would. That was cool. Shoot. What about us? The people who laid the groundwork. That's a great point, Dr. Wilburne.
Well, I can certainly appreciate the work that people like you and Tony have done, Charles. And I understand your apprehension to make the comparison of change now to that of the change incurred during the civil rights era. However, if you look at the historic development of youth involvement in social movements, I'm sure that you will see enough data to support my assertions.
I think we lost her. It appears we're having some technical difficulties today, but we'll keep working with him. Dr. Wilburne, our last caller seemed to be losing hope, not gaining.
Yes, that's actually quite common during periods of change, Tony. Change is not the same as progress. Oftentimes, the events that trigger the change are so catastrophic that it makes change seem impossible. However, it is precisely when a people have experienced peak lows that we often experience the greatest periods of change.
Great. Happen again if you don't start learning your place. Caller, surely you can think of something more intelligent to say than, "Oh, you sassing me, boy?" That's rich. We'll see what happens to you. I apologize for that, Dr. Wilburne. It seems even under the auspice of change, we still have those who would preach the hate of yesterday. We'll try to do a better job of screening these calls. Won't we, Gary?
That's fine. That's fine.
Dr. Wilburne? Who are you talking about? This is absurd. It is absurd, Tony. And yet it is something we see time and time again in a growing number of our communities. Young men are being driven from the political process.
It is absurd, Tony. And yet it is something that we see time and time again in a growing number of our communities. Our young men are being driven from the political process. Revolutionary change theory suggests that this is fertile ground for change. Grassroots organizations with an agenda for social justice, community-led revolutionaries, student organizations, things like that.
Dr. Wilburne, I'm not really sure how to respond.
It is alarming.
Cut. Awesome.
I don't know what happened to the feed. Tony? Ha! Tony! You're back! I don't know what happened there. It was like 1 minute you were there and then the next, poof, you were gone. But I've got you now.